Hi, I'm Kelly Forshaw-Smith, Head Medical Trainer at the Finishing Touches Group and Director and Technician of Medicos London. And today we have...
Will Quaye.
Will Quaye will be joining us, and his topic is New Kid on the Block, and that's his SMP. So Will has been in the SMP industry for just over a year. He is the owner of Scalp Nation and senior artist at Creative Scalp. In this time, he has won Best Scalp Artist at the PMU Circle Awards. He was in the top 10 at Teresa Wild's conference, nominated as Rising Star at the Team Micro, and nominated for under 2 years SMP Artist at the MP UK Awards. So he's been a very, very busy boy. So welcome, Will.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us today. So first of all, can you tell us, how did you get into SMP?
So there was a couple of reasons why I got into it. One being my mother, she was suffering from hair loss. So I was looking at different ways to combat that for her. But at the same time, which is why it all sort of gelled together, my other half, Claire, and her colleague, Layla, they was at MP UK 19, because it weren't this year, 19. And they see all the, what do you want to call it? Demos.
The network, the industry together.
Yeah. She see all the demos of the SMP going on. Then I got a few texts from them both saying, look, I've seen this happening. I think you'd be really good at it. Why don't you give it a go? I sort of brushed it off, but I've heard about it because obviously I'm researching things for my mum. And she got back, and then I sort of looked into it a little bit more. And then within a month, I started my training.
What did you used to do before?
So I'm a welder fabricator by trade. Still working with my hands, but a bit more dirty.
Well, it depends.
A lot more dirty.
So do you think that with your mum with having obviously the hair loss, do you think it gives you a good way to be like empathetic to your patients or a little bit more understanding of what they're going through?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a real touchy subject. No one chooses for it to happen most of the time. It's not something you choose to happen. So when it does happen, if there's no avenues to go down, you've exhausted all the avenues to go down. With SMP, at least it's there. It's relatively new in most people's eyes, so it's quite refreshing. Obviously, once you've treated someone and you can see them go from like here to here in their just their selves, and it's very rewarding. So it's sort of guiding them through the treatment, through the process, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it from the start.
Did you start from scratch when you went in, or you mentioned obviously your missus? She's obviously this is Claire, who's extremely good at what she does, and hopefully I'll be interviewing her and Layla at a later date. But with them, did you go on to Claire's business, or did you start your own scalp thing separately?
So I started Scalp Nation separately. I still work alongside Layla and Claire under Layla Hinchin and Claire the Quaye Clinic. So I still do scalps for them as well, but Scalp Nation is my little puppy. So I sort of brought that on, but since then I'm over here, I'm over there. I mean, I work with Mark, Adam, Creative Scalps as well. So I'm just heavily involved in it. Like anyone that knows me, when I've sort of got a bit between my teeth, I've just got to run with it. And everything's got to be 100% or just forget it. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, absolutely. How did you start off? So you did your training. I'm assuming you did case studies and you got your models in and you practiced. Obviously hard as well. It's not easy, is it? It's not like, I'm going to go on a training course and then I'm done.
No, it definitely ain't. And if you're thinking that, then just forget it, because a lot that goes into it. Obviously, initially, do your training. You need the fundamentals, but once you've done the fundamentals, that's when, not the fun, or I call it fun, but that's when the hard work starts, and it's constant. Do you know what I mean? You've got to submerge yourself into the industry and live and eat and sleep it, and just, it's got to be there and the whole time. For me, anyway, if you want to be good at something, you've got to dedicate yourself, right?
How did you get your models at the beginning?
So I offered a lot of, I say free, but it was covering my expenses. So I'd cover my needles, my pigment, my consumables. If I was renting a space in the shop, it would cover all of that. But other than that, I wouldn't be charging. I've done sort of like half a dozen people free of charge, just to sort of build my portfolio and obviously build my experience and my confidence as well. So, you can't we spoke about it before, and like you can't go in the mindset of right, I've done my training, I'm gonna earn this amount of money, you know, it's gonna be great. That's the wrong mindset to be going into it. You just need to be humble and patient, and just the most important thing is getting the experience and getting your portfolio built up. Once you've done that, then obviously things start to happen. So,
so once you've done your models and you're feeling a bit more confident, and then you're obviously onto your clients, your full paying clients. Actually, this question: how did you feel the very first patient that you did?
Well, when I done my training, we done 2 live models. So
on your own, then, how do you feel when it was on your own?
On my own, I mean, I shit myself, didn't I? Obviously, naturally, you shit yourself because it's like it's real then, it's happening. You've got no one to like, you know, you're looking over your shoulder expecting someone there to say, no, you know, do this, do that. There's no one there. So, and a lot of the time in our industry, most of the time you're working on your own, right? So you haven't really got people there to. I mean, obviously in Creative Scalps, I've got a clinic of people, so it helps me in that sense. But going on my own, I mean, it's very daunting, and you just got to stick to the fundamentals, stick within the parameters of what you've been taught, and you won't go wrong, but just edge with caution, that's all.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you market to get your clients?
So when I first started training, obviously everyone's got their own personal social medias and things like that, right? So you're putting it out there to family and friends. Oh, look, I do this, you know, do you fancy getting a treatment done? Pretty much no one puts their name forward because it's do you know what I mean? Like,
no one someone else to go first.
Yeah, of course they do, yeah. But I had the 1 or 2, and obviously I'm forever in their debt for that because I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for them stepping forward. But now I have a team of people that do all my social media marketing. I have another team of people that do my SEO, my websites and stuff like that. I think it's important because obviously doing the treatment itself is a major part of the business, but all that sort of stuff behind the scenes, I'm not an expert at, so just get the experts to help you along, and don't be afraid to invest into it because it will pay you back.
I think what you put in, you get out.
100%. Yeah.
How did you find your original training provider? How did you source of who you were going to go with?
Yeah, good. I mean, I got recommended for my training. I trained with Bramwoods up in Birmingham. So yeah, I mean, at the time, once I completed my training, I knew I needed more, or I wanted more. Some people don't, but I chose to just keep pushing. It's not only now that I look back at my training, go over my training manuals, I think, oh yeah, like, you know, that makes sense now, and this makes sense now. You're not going to soak it all in them 4 or 5 days. So, but the training quality itself is good, but you've got to just, you know, I often go back on my training manuals and just refresh my memory, and I'll understand things now because I can understand the skin a little bit more than what I didn't understand when I first did my training. So
yeah, I mean, obviously in the lockdown, we're all in that lockdown for so long where I can't believe they wouldn't let us do patients and stuff, considering what good PPE we've always had. And then we're the ones who can go down the pub, but you know, you can't do something in full PPE. What did you do in that time? Did you utilize your time? Like, what did you practice on, or?
Yeah, I did a few skins. I'm not really. I should do more if I'm honest, but where I'm quite busy with SMP itself, so I'm busy doing clients all the time. So that's the way I kept myself busy pre-lockdown. But in lockdown, I would do things like skins. I've done a lot of like Zoom, what do you call them?
Zoom consultations?
Yeah, well, I did them for my clients, but I've done a lot of talks with people. Do you know Juan Collado from Giro Inc?
Oh, yes.
And me and him hooked up every week, and we had a little chat about things, just like we're doing now, just general chatting, and just to sort of like, oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? He helped me along a lot. Obviously, my mentors like Mark Allen, Paul, and that, you know, I speak to them quite regular, so just keeping my hand in it and doing things that I can't always do when you're busy in the clinic, like your social media platforms and things like that, trying to tie them in, putting some bits together for your portfolio, all the things you don't normally have time to do. So
compared from the start, I mean, obviously it's only been a year where you've been unbelievably busy in that year, and obviously I'm sure things are going to go skyrocket for you the second that we're back fully working again. But at the beginning, would you say that obviously you're a lot slower, you've built up your speed, you've built up your confidence for the consultation, because you've got to start somewhere, haven't you?
Right, so consultations for me, I was never I just like talking to people, to be honest. So that not easy for me, but in a consultation, it's just talking, right? So with me, I just tend to talk to them about themselves, not so much about the treatment. And then we go into the treatment after. We just gel with people and then take it from there. But I forgot your question now.
Just, do you think that your speed's quicker? Do you think you've improved?
So at the beginning, I was really quick, right? So I'd get a treatment done in like an hour, and I'd think, "God, that was easy," I nailed it, But really and truly, I wasn't doing it not properly, but I wasn't taking my time. The impressions, probably my spacings were a little bit larger than they should. Things like that. I've actually slowed down.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually gone the other way. But my treatment time's probably slowed down, but my session time slowed down, but the overall treatment has sped up. So within sort of 3 sessions, we're pretty much done. Whereas when I first started, because I was a little bit erratic, it might take 4 or 5, sometimes 6 sessions, but people don't like talking about that. That's just the truth. That's how you start out. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's just you're learning, right? So, if you don't fail or you don't learn, then as you get good, as you become successful, you've got to just take it on the chin, as it were, and just
absolutely
build up. Yeah.
I think that's also like what I find anyway, is if people, they give this image, oh, I'm perfect from day one. What a load of bollocks. You're not perfect from day one. You learn. I still learn now. I've been doing the medical for over 15 years, and I still, to this day, a client will come in, totally surprise me. It'll be a different type of skin, and I'll think, oh, I thought I knew every skin type or every skin tone. I don't know everything. I'm a human.
Yeah. You think you nailed it. You think, well, I've got this, and then all of a sudden you get that bit trickier client come in, and then you're like, back to square one again. Do you know what I mean? But that's the thing with this job. It's constantly changing. Every day's different. I've even had it where I'll do one treatment on a guy on a first session. He'll come back for his second session, and it's like he's got a new head. It's like, what happened? There's nothing like it was on the first session. But these are the things you gain with experience. Like at the beginning, you panic. I had a guy, I was doing it. The needle wasn't flowing. Changed the needle. I went through about 3 machines. What am I doing? I was thinking, I'm gonna have to tell him, look, we can't do this. Do you know what I mean? But it's just as you get more experience.
I've had clients like that where I've started and I've been like, okay, and it was actually SMP, and for me, I can do all of the cosmetic, the medical, the skin. SMP for me is, I do enjoy it because it does combine in what I'm doing, but you've got to have nerves of steel because it's such a long time until they see it in the mirror. I mean, again, it's the same effect of when they hold up that mirror. It's priceless, isn't it? Or when someone looks in that mirror and you can just tell they're like, oh but you've got to wait an extra long time. You've got to wait SMP, my sessions, I was very slow. So 3 hours, I've got to wait. It's the anxiety building in of will they like it? Whereas at least with the medical, I'm done in half an hour. I'm showing them and I'm all good. Whereas it's a bit nerve wracking.
It is. And you've got to kind of, you go them into trusting the process, right? But you've got to trust the process as much as them. Because sometimes you do a first session and it's a little bit underwhelming as compared to once you finish on a third session. So you're like, but it's not until you get to the finale.
I think that's where a good consultation comes in, because you've got to manage those clients' expectations, because it really is underwhelming, isn't it? When you do the first session, you're like, it's just to not test it in skin, but to a certain degree, test it in skin, see how it heals. And then obviously with the scalp, which I didn't realise, and you can fill me in a bit more, but is you've got different bits that take more than other bits. And, again, with an eyebrow, it's an eyebrow. Whereas the scalp is got spongy bits that are absorbing and bits that are pushing out. I mean, it's crazy.
Every scalp's different as well. Certain areas on certain people's scalps, it can play a different massive part to the last one you've done. Do you know what I mean?
And pain threshold. I mean, that's a big, because also I find that if I've got someone is finding it sore, and sometimes I might be wrong, but sometimes I think it can be a little bit psychological. If they're like, oh, it's going to be really painful, so they gear themselves up, and then like I've done it before where I've touched someone doing their eyeliner, and they were like wincing, and I was thinking, geez, like really can't be that painful. I've used, you know, anesthetic, and when I've started, and then I've actually used a cotton bud, and they've gone, oh, that really hurts. I'm like, well, actually, that was a cotton bud, not the needle. And they're like, oh, okay then.
Yeah, see, I'll get people from one end of the scale to the other. Generally speaking, it's like a 3 to 5 out of 10 on a pain threshold.
Yeah.
But you do get the odd client that wants to take a break every 10 minutes. And, you know, obviously it sort of takes you out of your flow a little bit. But you've got to be patient with them because, like you say, some people's pain thresholds are different. I had 2 clients on Friday. Both of them fell asleep in the chair. I mean, I've had people fall asleep on separate occasions, but literally the whole day was full of like snoring. It was great.
And nothing to do with the conversation.
Hey?
Nothing to do with the conversation then.
No, nothing to do with the conversation. Yeah, it's
only joking. I love chatting to you, Will. I could talk to you all day. Can you give any tips on how to convert a lead into an actual client?
So, I mean, I don't think you're going to convert all leads. When you say leads, do you mean like market? So
someone they've looked on, they've seen your work on the internet, and they think, oh, he looks all right, but I'm going to like chat to 5 other people. How do you get that person to go with you, do you think?
I'll be honest, I always tell them to chat to other people. Like I say, talk to as many people as you can because you need to decide for yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a big deal. You get a tattoo on your head, right? So don't take it lightly. Talk to people. And then just be yourself. Just be yourself because you can't keep up not being yourself. You know what I mean? You'll get found out. So just be yourself. And if they like you and like what you got to say, but obviously you've got to be professional. You've got to know what you're doing. Yeah. But, you know, if they like the style of work you do, because with SMP, at the end of the day, we're trying to create more density on people's scalps. So people get there in different ways, yeah? If you like the way I get there and you like the way it looks when I do it, then come with me. But if you like such and such, because you like the way they do it, go with them. And I've found I've stayed busy just being myself. So
and you don't drop prices and stuff just to try and compete.
No. Never, because you got to know your worth. But it's not all about money. But even when I started out, I knew what I was capable of. So you charge accordingly. So it depends if you want to keep busy or you want to be greedy. But
I think value your services. So you know you'll charge what you charge, and if people keep going on, oh, do it for me cheaper, do this for me cheaper, they're not the client for you. It's the other way around. So you're vetting them and they're vetting you. But if you don't feel comfortable, if they're constantly pushing, I'd normally say to people, they're red flags. They're the people you want to keep away from.
Definitely, because you'll do a job and they'll just constantly be moaning about what you've done. I mean, I give all my clients 100%, more than 100%. If I'm not happy, then, you know, come back, we'll touch it up. You know, you won't leave until I'm happy as well as you're happy. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, right, 3 sessions and that's it, out the door. Like, don't speak to me again. You know, we'll get there when we get there and, you know... And that's it.
That's great. So obviously you mentioned that you work with your missus. Are you like, because my husband's also in the industry, Dad was in and out of the industry. Are you like us who we sit in bed in an evening and very sad and watch TV and be like, he's definitely had SMP. Look at those eyebrows.
That's it. I mean, generally the phone comes out, she'll finish work, I'll finish work. I go, look what I've done today, have a look at that. You know, she probably knows more about scalps than I know about eyebrows. Yeah, we're the same. We're just talking about it all the time. But it's nice to be able to, because anyone else, they would have left me by now. Do you know what I mean?
They have to stay with you. They're in the industry. They have to stay. Oh, I love it. No, I think it is good. I like being with family, and I like, again, you know that I work with my mum, I work with my brother, I work with my sister-in-law. Like, it really is quite a family business. But in general, I think it's great.
Yeah. No, it is.
What's next for you then, Will? What would you like to achieve 2021? We've still got a bit of 2020, but what is for you? What's your sights on?
You know, just keeping it flowing, really. I mean, all this stop-start we've had, sort of, you know, you've not been able to push forward as much as you can. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, just keep doing good treatments or the best I can, keep changing people's lives. I don't say it's cheesy, but it's true. And you know, like you mentioned at the beginning, on the very nice intro you gave me, there was a few like conferences that happened that we couldn't go to because of what's happened. You know, if they go ahead next year, it would be nice to nab a few and put my name out there a little bit more.
Well, I'm sure you will, Will. I'm sure you will. So if anyone is interested or they've got any questions, they'd like to see Will again, or they want anything that they want to ask, Will's always available, as am I, to answer any questions you've got. So please write any comments below. And Will, thank you quickly, whereabouts are you located?
We are in Hornchurch in Essex.
Hornchurch in Essex, fabulous. Thank you. I thought I'd get that in for you so we know where you are.
Obviously.
Will, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to hopefully speaking to you again.
Cheers, Kelly.
Lovely. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.